Hey guys, thanks for tuning back into the channel. Dougie and we're just out here. I got a mule deer hunt in a new location, and we're just going over all the stuff that we go through trying to find the big bucks.
Or find deer in general.
So we just wanted to share with you guys what tips we have. I would say our first tip would be call up a biologist. Get the biologist, talk to him. He's going to know all the information, where the deer are hanging, the numbers, how many bucks to does.
Yeah, he's been here. He's already looked at it, got a ton of information.
Yep.
He's done his homework, so may as well take advantage of that, you know?
It's an easy way to get a lot of information. It gives you a bunch of starter points where you want to kind of go out and start scouting for your mule deer hunt.
When I was doing a little bit of research on the area that we're in right now, out here in the desert, they had a lot more information for the muzzleloader and rifle guys out in, late October, first part of November.
Yeah, they'll tell you the migration, where they're going to be hanging in the summer. He'll be able to tell you what kind of feed they're going to be wanting to eat that time of the year, everything like that. They're going to be able to give you a lot of information on that. So, that I would say that would probably be the first step to do after you find out what tag you drew. Go about it that way. All right, step number 2 is e-scouting. So you're going to get on the internet after you talk to the biologist, and they're going to be able to tell you. You're going to be able to look up names, draws, mountain peaks, stuff like that. You're going to be able to get on your Google map, your Onyx, and really just pick apart the unit where you're at.
You'll be able to find those canyons and big mountain ranges a lot faster, getting all that information from the biologist.
So you could really just go through everything, and you have a good idea, a good starting point to where you can go.
You can mark them on the maps, so that way you can just drive straight to it instead of not knowing. You come out here like, I thought this was where I was going, but now it's not.
Absolutely, just mark a bunch of waypoints. I want to check here, here, here. You'll be able to see where high points for driving over passes and stuff like that, to where you can glass a little bit further.
Well, another big thing that I've always told a lot of people on, going to a new unit or just trying to find different areas is actually come out to the unit and learn the roads, drive them, look around, glass, just learn what road goes to where. So then there's like, this road dead ends. Well, I don't need to go down that road anymore. And just learn them. That will be probably half the battle.
And that's the cool thing, that's the difference. E-scouting and stuff like that's great, but until you put boots on the ground, or driving around or whatnot, you really don't get to see the terrain, the layout, the feed, everything like that. You don't get to see all that. So that's the good thing about driving around, is you get to see the different feed, the different terrain, the different, like if you're on e-scouting and you're like, man, that basin looks amazing, to just glass. You get there and be like, well, that's not, that's
not what I was expecting.
That's not what it looked like on there. So it's great to come out, learn all the roads. Okay, so tip number 4 is feed and water is what we're going to be looking for after that. We're going to be going through finding what the deer like to eat in that location, and that's where the biologist, he'll tell you a lot of the stuff, like, at that elevation, the deer, or let's say I'll be hunting the archery hunt, and all the deer are going to be higher elevation, and so the biologist, he's going to be able to tell you what those deer are going to be eating that time of the year, and so you'll be able to go out scouting, looking for all that vegetation, what those deer are going to want to eat. So after you find that, you want to start looking for water. Out in the desert, out here, there's a lot of
You'd be surprised how much water's out here.
And there's little springs everywhere. You look on the map and there's springs everywhere. So we're out there looking at every spring, every holding tank, and stuff like that. And
some of them are dried up.
That's where your trail cameras are going to come in handy right there. You're definitely going to want to find the perfect water hole, or just put out a bunch of trail cams if you got them. Just put them on every water hole, because mule deer, they don't hit water every day. You know, they get a lot of water from a lot of vegetation. It's the mildew in the morning. I know sagebrush has a lot of water, moisture in it. Definitely check your rules and regulations with your state where you're hunting. Make sure you can use cameras and stuff like that. Here in Utah, we can have them up till, what is it, July 31st. We have to pull our cameras. And so, here's another little tip with that. If you pull up to a nice water hole and you're looking at tracks and you don't know when that mule deer came into water, just grab a big stick with some brush on it,
brush, whatever,
and just brush it all around it and wipe away all the tracks away. So now the next deer coming in, you come check it the next day, be like, oh, there's a fresh track here, the fresh track here. They came in yet, you know, last night from this time to this time. So that's always a good tip with doing it, checking water holes like that. So tip number 5 is optics. You definitely want to spend the money and get some really good optics. The optics that Doug and I use, they're just 15 by 50s. They're on the bigger side, which we absolutely love. We started off with 10s, then we went to 12s, and now we're at 15s. And now actually this coming season we're talking about getting our 18s.
I want the 18s now.
It's just, you get a little bit more movement, of course, with the higher power glass. But the country, the real estate that we are glassing is just big country.
Big country. We're glassing like anywhere from a half a mile out to 2 miles.
And so, you know, those 10s and 12s just don't quite do it, you know. We like our 15s to really reach out there. You can make out deer so much easier.
You know it's a deer. Instead of going, oh, is that a deer?
Right. So definitely find what binoculars work best for you guys. Like I say, we like the 15s, but
10s, 12s, they work.
Whatever you guys have works great.
But that's probably one of the biggest things is if you're going to spend some money on your optics, spotting scope, binoculars, whatever you're going to do, spend the extra money on there.
So tip number 6 is reading your GPS with your moon phase. I know every GPS or even your phone is going to tell you the moon phase, what's going to happen, and it has your best time, your average time to hunt. You definitely want to watch them.
Pay attention to them.
Like for instance, on Doug's hunt in Idaho.
Yeah, it was like 6 o'clock in the morning. We got up there bright and early, so we get up there, we start glassing this area because we know there's deer in this area. Not a deer. We sat there for 3 hours, and at 9 o'clock, deer started coming up out of their beds, and I started picking deer out. There's a deer. Needless to say, I killed a 195-inch buck that day, and it was just because that moon phase told us that we needed to stay there till at least 9 o'clock.
Yeah. So that worked out great for Doug that way, and I've done it actually multiple times, sitting in water holes, be like, all right, this says best time to hunt is 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'll go in there at 1 or at noon and sit there the rest of the day.
Or until that moon phase is said it's over. And then go home for, go back to lunch, get some lunch or whatever. But
for instance, there was another one. We were up hunting whitetails in Washington with Glenberry, and we were hunting morning and night. So we checked the moon phase. They were coming in. They said best time is 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So we slept in that day and got out there at 10 o'clock. And both of us shot near that same
I shot a buck at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and he shot his at like 12:40.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. Just because the moon phase, the deer were moving different times of the day.
They come in the middle of the afternoon.
But you definitely still want to wake up early, get out there, start glassing. By far, that's your best time to be out. But always watch that moon phase.
Just little hints, just little tips here and there that might help you guys. Make it a great day, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thanks for watching, and smash that subscribe button.